It's me, Shar. I'm here. Haven't done a video with my actual face in a while, so I figured I'd do that now and see how that goes. I hope that you guys are having a good week. I have had a better week this week than last one. I think I'm finally getting to the point where I can manage my time between my two jobs, my art and my, I would say, part time job, but it's really a full time job now. I'm working 10-hour days, and that gives me 3 days of non part time job that I can work on my art. Really, it's just a mindset shift for me. It's just when I'm here at home, then I need to focus and get my artwork done, and I'm making lists and all the stuff that I need to get done. And I actually am starting a new project. It's a project that will encompass a bunch of different other projects that I've had in the works for a really, really long time. And I'm hoping that I can combine everything all together into like one interesting world. I'm considering this as a fantasy world that I'm building in a way kind of like Game of Thrones, in the sense that it's mostly based in reality, but then I'm going to toss some unicorns and maybe some griffins and Pegasus and stuff in there just because I like them. And when doing that, do I just want to make up fantasy cultures? And I'm leaning towards making up fantasy cultures, but I want to do a lot of research on some cultures that I'm not as familiar with and base some of those aspects on those cultures, including possibly some language and just other things. There's so much in this world right now as it is that why not just base some stuff very much inside the real world? So that's kind of my new goal. I have a problem. I have this problem where I'm very diversified, in the sense that I want everything to fit into like a folder on a desktop. And I will categorize everything to the point where there's like only one file in each folder, and that kind of defeats the purpose of a folder. So I'm trying to find ways to make all this stuff actually merge together in a way that's cohesive, that fills me with inspiration, and also just makes sense. That is what this new project is inspiring me to do. And I feel like this could actually be something that can do that, can encompass all these other things that I've been trying to set up and trying to do for a really long time now. And I'm excited about that. I haven't really had a project that I felt that I could incorporate so many different aspects into. I constantly have this thing where I'm just putting everything into such little specific boxes that I kind of don't end up having a project at all, because I feel like, oh, well, if I get all of these things put together and I put them out there in the world, then who's going to care about a book about just griffins, or who's going to care about a book about just Pegasus? But if I can put all of those things into a cohesive storyline that has all of those elements all together, then maybe people would be interested in a side book that also has all these other little creatures and aspects into it, because it's a part of a bigger whole. So exciting. So I think another aspect to what I'm going to be focusing on is actually not doing certain projects. And I think that's going to mean not doing so many of those monthly projects. I love them. I might pop in and do one or two pieces, but I think in trying to engage with my audience, it's getting to the point where I still feel so obligated to them, as if they're people commissioning me to do these works. That's not a real obligation I have, but I just end up feeling that way. So I think I really just need to focus on what I want to do, and if anything, I need to incorporate those monthly themes into my own project. And I think that's totally possible. I think I could do like a Smogist for my project, Mermaid for my project, lots of things like that. So that's what I really need to focus on, is just my project. I know it comes naturally to some people. They constantly make up their own characters and their own world, and they build many different other worlds, but I'm just so bad at that. I'm so bad at world building and coming up with my own ideas. So I think I really need to focus on that and make that a top priority. Another thing I've been working on this week has really been reevaluating my expectations. And one of the expectations I had of myself was that before going to my other job, I would figure, oh yeah, I can totally get some artwork done before I head out the door to work 10 hours. And as it turns out, I'm really bad at that. And my sleep schedule doesn't really allow for me to get up too much earlier than I have been in order to get up in time for my job. So I'm just a night person. And I think another thing to kind of consider of yourself is what kind of person are you, and to start trying to tailor different aspects of your life into that. I work second shift, so that means I go into work at 3 and I work until 11. And it is really easy for me to stay up until 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 in the morning compared to getting up at any of those times. So I just need to cater to my strengths and worry about staying up and getting more work done instead of just sitting on my phone and staring at Facebook for 4 hours, because that's not something I do at all. If I can get to the point where I am focusing more on getting the art done in the times that I feel the most creative and feel like I can really work on getting a lot of these things done, then I feel like I will ultimately get a lot more accomplished in the day. And also I won't be fighting against my true nature and trying to rush around early in the morning for me when I'm getting to bed at 4 in the morning. For any advice for anyone who is fighting against their nature because their job is making them be a morning person when they're really a night person, I would see if there's any way to reevaluate your schedule and see if you can't shift that more toward working nights. Sometimes that's just not possible. And in those times, I've had to do that too. I've just had to suck it up and get up at 6 or 7 in the morning and go into work and kind of be a miserable fog until like noon, and then I could actually perk up. Usually people are, they start their slump around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I actually perk up then, and that's when I start actually getting awake. As far as if you are in that situation where you have to go against your true nature, I suppose I would just fight really hard to see if you can't get a position where you're actually working in the time that best suits you and your schedule. That may be a while. It may be something that's a long-term goal, but I think it's really worth it to work in such a way that is not where you're not fighting against your own body. Because I said before in a comment, I said, you can only adapt against your true nature for so long before your body rebels. And I've found this to be the case. I found this to be the truth. And I think that it can definitely be true for lots of aspects of yourself. You just have to kind of accept how you are as a person in some ways and do what's best for you. Society is generally a diurnal, day-walking kind of thing, and when you're more of a nocturnal creature, that is a little hard to deal with, but you have to balance what society and what other people do with your true nature. And sometimes that's going to look like working a second shift or getting up later and doing a night shift, or just okay, those are the only 2 options that I can think of right now, but that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have to kind of look around for other jobs that maybe aren't as wonderful in the sense of the types of jobs where you are working second shift or night shift. There are probably going to be a lot of stocking jobs, more physical labor type of factory work sort of things. They exist though, and they're out there, so it's definitely something worth looking into, especially I feel if you are doing a creative type job. Sometimes just doing a job that allows you to be creative in your own mind as opposed to exhausting your creativity towards someone else in the form of commission or other people's projects. If what you really want is to work on your own work, the greatest gift that you can have is being given the opportunity to actually think about your own projects. And sometimes those jobs that don't seem so great on the surface, in the sense that it's not a creative job, you're not drawing, you're not really even able to draw while you're doing these jobs, sometimes those can be blessings in disguise in some ways, and allows your brain free to be able to think about things that otherwise you wouldn't have the energy or the time for. I guess all in all, take consideration as to who you are as a person and try to find different ways in your life to allow that person to exist. I think it's important to not resist your true nature or not do that forever. And as well, I think it's important for you to work on your own things and try to make a go of doing that. I don't know if there's anything that's super mind-shattering in this particular episode, but maybe it's just some food for thought, things that you can kind of reconsider and think about for your own life. If you're interested in seeing more of my work, you can check out charreed.com. Also, I have an Instagram, Twitter, and all my other social media pretty much is on Charreed Art. So if you'd like to hit that subscribe button, help get those numbers a little higher, and maybe even do a little thumbs up, maybe, I'd appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye. Something else I thought of this week that was good, and now I can't remember what it was, because I'm the worst. Yeah, my computer is so slow.